Last round, we won the roll. Yeah, we got to keep this. Granted, Treasure Cruise is a dead-ish card in this hand, but whatever. This hand is good. Ooh. It's pretty. Our one of island. It's a bit awkward. I think we're just gonna play Knight of the White Orchid here. There's really no reason to assume that we're gonna be able to get behind our opponents on lands. And I want to be able to leave up a counter spell and play a 1-drop. If I draw one. Red-green landfall, maybe? We haven't played against that yet. All right. Acceptable. Ooh, talk about a top deck, huh? No plays. Now, having Treasure Cruise now is actually just really nice. Sweet. Switch Kithian. Let's not forget to use him, though. We'll just make a guy indestructible, just in case of hastiness. And we'll play a land for getting closer to Treasure Cruise. All right. So, swarmed our opponent that time. No idea what our opponent is. No idea. Crater's Claws, badass looking Wooded Foothills. Not enough spells seen to really indicate what to sideboard and what not. So I think we probably keep it mostly the same. I mean, I could dump Disperse for presumed Surge of Righteousness being good. Perhaps Silk Wrap's not good. But he could have some cheap stuff, right? Is it safe to assume my opponent's creatures are going to be bigger? I feel like he would have played something in the first 3 turns. Let's dump Silk Wrap speculatively for a couple Surge and a couple Suspension Field. Now, it's only because I don't exactly know what my opponent's got. This could come back to bite me. But we'll try it. Actually, could have some board wipe. We'll keep the Treasure Cruise. Basically, the only reason I dumped the Silk Wrap is because our opponent didn't do anything. What do I think about this hand? We're on the draw. I think we got to keep this one. We don't get to play a 1-drop, but we have 20 lands we could draw. That would be pretty good. I guess only 17 lands oh no, 16. 16 lands is what I meant. We only have 16 lands that we could draw that are good. All right. Jam the Kithian first because we have another one in hand. Turns into a 3/3 hexproofer. It's pretty good. How much you got to pay for that? 4? All right. At least it's not super easy to get. Oh no. Oh no, Woe Reaper. You're not what I'm looking for. All right. Ramping. Still don't know what the spells are that we're trying to avoid. 5 color. Now, what are the 5 colors decks do? Something to do with Converge, most likely. This is where haste would come in handy. Let's go plains. So I can go 2 1-drops, but I think we're pretty likely getting swept next turn. So I might just want to do 1 creature instead. All right. So I have to imagine Ugin deck. In which case, Disdainful Stroke's going to be good. And I can dump the Surge of Righteousnesses. Definitely not playing into this board, I'll tell you that much. I have a feeling Ugin's going to get us, but I'll play the Kithian anyway. I can't. It's not that much. It's not very useful regardless. Languish, retreat, retreat. So Disdainful Stroke comes in. Dark Petition. All right. So likely finding. Can't play Languish. Can't play Ugin. Does have Spell Mastery, so I guess you can play Ugin. Okay, probably Ugin. In which case we're not in great shape. Shuffles out cards from his or her hand, all permanents he or she owns. Draws that many cards. Well, we'll see what this does, because I'm not sure. Each player then, okay. Then draws that many cards. Each player may put any number of land cards from his or her hand onto the battlefield. Okay. Opponent's deck is sweet. I don't know what's happening though. All I see is a bunch of board wipes and what? And retreat. Oh, retreat to Haga. Okay. Okay. So the win con is retreat to Haga. That's cool. Or is it Hagra? Am I saying it wrong? Hagra. That's a cool win con. Let's deck then. The problem is I don't have enough for lethal. I think we just do this anyway. So definitely cutting removal for more counter spells. I think we can easily beat our opponent with counter spells though. He's so reliant on casting huge spells. How many more languishes do you have? What happens to the rest of them? They go on the bottom, right? So you should already have, that should be your fourth languish, because these three would be on the bottom of, although no, there was a shuffle effect. Okay. Lumbering Falls are going to be a problem too. Bonus deck is pretty sweet. But this does seem like an easily winnable match, given how low our curve is and the quantity of counterspells we have. Guess I shouldn't have played the land first. Probably still have less though, yeah. Only a 25% chance to draw lands now, which is pretty decent. Actually, less than that. 15 of our 21 lands. We only have 6 lands left, I think. Alright, had the second languish, so. Running out of time here. Definitely hard to predict what my opponent's deck was, though. I think we only have 5 lands left. No, 6 lands left now. We have 11 out, 4 in our graveyard, so pretty low % chance of ripping lands at this point. But I feel as though this game is definitely over. I probably should have just brought in the Disdainful Strokes, but I thought maybe my opponent was ramping into fatties or something. Eldrazi. I mean, it's certainly worth playing out in case my opponent plays some more creatures, but I definitely had some dead cards this game. But, I mean, Silk Wrap was going to be just as dead. So I think we just cut off all of our removal. Bring in some counter spells. Bring in 2 more Disdainful Stroke, 2 more Negates, probably. Kind of like the idea though, with because I was like, why is he playing Retreat? But Retreat's pretty sweet with like Animus Awakening and even Explosive Vegetation, not bad there. So he's just got a bunch of Languish though. We can easily take care of the Languish, and like he should never be able to resolve Great Aurora. I don't think. I think we'll concede after we see what we draw. Okay. Because, like, we could live, but we don't have a way to beat our opponent now. Okay, so I think we kind of want to leave the Treasure Cruise just in case he does resolve. Disperses are gone. And we want to go negate, negate, stroke, stroke, Treasure Cruise. He doesn't have any instants. Makes Dispel worse. Alright, we'll do one Disperse, I guess. It's kind of irrelevant, not that great, but don't have anything else we can really do. Alright. This is about as good as we'll get, I think. Definitely playing first. Man, why do we always get these awkward hands? I think we keep. I don't love it, but it's hard to maul a one-lander when you can just rip so many. Like, we could just rip 16 lands, was it? Yeah, we can rip 16 lands. Or maybe it is 17 lands. I keep forgetting. It's an island and 3 prairie streams are the only lands that aren't good. So that means after this we can rip 16 lands, which is pretty significant. I am surprised by the amount of one-landers we've like how we've opened so many one-landers with 21 cards. If you remember the old days of Magic, people played like curves with, 5+ converted mana costs, and like the gold standard was 20 lands. So I think it's pretty remarkable that we've opened as many hands as we have with only one land in them. Definitely not as advanced on the board as I'd like. Oh, man, that one hurt. All right, pretty painful one there. At least we get to make a play, though. And our opponent doesn't have a black mana for Languish yet, which is good. And we have our blue mana, so once we get a land, we can really start doing stuff here. Knight of the White Orchid should be pretty helpful as well. Like, if we can rip a land, we just get to keep up all the protection we need. Come on, land. Oh, man. Oh, man. At least our opponent's off black, so I can't imagine. God, we are just an actual land away from just doing absurd things. All right. This is where we need it. Need to rip that land. Gotta dodge that Languish. Just a land, baby. Give me that one land, please. Thank you. Might as well not make our guys indestructible. It doesn't matter with Languish. Opponent's got to have Dispel or Negate. And even if they do, Languish doesn't take care of the Gideon problem. Do I want to use Disdainful Stroke or Negate? I actually don't know. Doesn't matter. I feel like opponent just did not have a chance against our deck. Yeah, once we knew what our opponent's agenda was, there's just no way this deck can beat our deck. Just way too many early plays with cheap protection spells. All right, well, this is like a shining example. That would be the match that's like the best match you could possibly ask for with a match like we do. Post board, just, oh yeah, you don't play creatures? Well, dump removal and all of your spells that require 5 turns of you taking abuse from my 1 and 2 drops, I can counter with 2 mana. So, all right. Ended up going 3-0 this time around, but I'd say match 1 was the most legitimate tier 1 deck challenge for this deck. Overall, this is a really fun deck to play. I definitely I'm satisfied with the Disdainful Stroke swap out. We didn't get really a chance to play it that much, but I felt better about it in matchups than I did with Clash at Wills. So I think this deck is definitely moving in the right direction. I'd like to see maybe a couple more suggestions, a couple more tweaks. I've gotten some good ones, but this deck is definitely a lot of fun. I think it's pretty competitive. Maybe the next video will be a standard daily. I haven't exactly decided yet, but it very well could be. Hope you enjoyed it.